Hey YouTube, and welcome to my first video. My name is Jess. Today I want to talk to you about something called nudge theory. Nudge theory is based in the idea that there are lots of different factors in our environment that influence our choice beyond just our individual choice. So coming from with someone as a public health background, I often feel that sometimes we overestimate the role of individual choice, or at least put too much onus and emphasis on the individual to change their behavior, when in fact the environment is not conducive to that. A good example of nudge theory would be having a vending machine in your workplace. So every time you walk by that vending machine, you still have the choice, the free choice to buy or not buy from it, but it's kind of there, you see it every day, you want those bag of chips, eventually you're going to be nudged to do that, most likely. When we want to use nudge theory in our favor to influence positive changes, we're basically looking at what would make our desired behavior the easiest. So that would be, an example would be having very maintained trails near workplaces so that people are encouraged to walk or bike to work instead of driving the car. On the other hand, if they're kind of dirty and they're unsafe, people are going to be less inclined to take those, and they're going to be more inclined to drive their car. I read a study recently by Arno and Thomas in 2016. They performed a systematic review and a meta-analysis looking at nudge theory. And specifically they looked at a collection of different studies that use an approach of nudge theory in motivating dietary changes. Those could have been reduced calorie counts, consumption of, quote-unquote healthy over less healthy food, or reduced spending habits of unhealthy food. And this was, some of these changes, or some of these studies, the nudges were quite small, okay? It could be something as simple as having the unhealthy food closer or further from the participant, and how would that small change influence their decision-making about which food they ate. Or it could be a lot bigger, such as nutritional labeling and calorie counting on menus, and whether that changed people's perspectives of what they wanted to do. So again, participants, there were between 18 and 65 across all these studies. They still had free choice. Okay? They still had that autonomy to choose what they wanted to do, but they were certainly nudged and primed to choose the healthier option if they inclined. And what they found, the authors found, is that across all these studies, nudging resulted in, on average, a 15.3%, I believe, improvement in healthy eating, or whatever the goal indicator was. So you might think, 15.3%, that's not very big. But what I think is really important for you is to keep in mind, by just tweaking really small things in your environment, that can have a big influence on setting yourself up to make those healthy choices. So an example in one of these studies was simply using a smaller bowl, and how did that influence consumption. So you can think about these things in your life and how you set them up around making the desired choice you want more automatic. So don't rely on willpower and kind of having that to make that decision at the point of conflict every single day. Look at little ways you can set up your environment to nudge you and to prime you over time to make these a habit. And I'll talk about habits in later videos, but I just wanted to introduce this concept today. So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you a brief overview about the idea of nudging, and let you think about how you can use that in your lifestyle to work towards the goals and healthy behaviors that are important to you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I will also put a link to my Facebook page below, where you can also let me know if you have any ideas for future videos. Thanks, bye!